What's going on, you guys? Today we're learning the song Holiday by Green Day. Now, real quick before we get into it, I would like to ask that if you find this guitar tutorial helpful, that you please consider subscribing. That would really mean the world to me. Now let's get into it. You are watching Logan's Lessons. The majority of the song is power chords. So our first power chord shape is going to be with our first finger on the 8th fret of the A string, our third finger on the 10th fret of the D string, and our pinky finger on the 10th fret of the G string. After that, we're going to slide that chord down to the 4th fret. So our first finger is going to be on the 4th fret of the A string, our third finger on the 6th fret of the D, and our pinky on the 6th fret of the G. So then we're going to slide this shape up so that our first finger is on the 11th fret of the A string, our third finger is on the 13th fret of the D, and our pinky finger is on the 13th fret of the G. Then we slide it back down so that our first finger is on the 6th fret of the A string, our third finger on the 8th fret of the D string, and our pinky on the 8th fret of the G. So we're going from a power chord on the 8th fret down to the 4th, up to the 11th, down to the 6th. Okay, and the strumming pattern for that will be a down, 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 up, down, up. That's a down, 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 up, down, up. Okay. Now you play that twice and then the drums kick in and you play it another 2 times before we change it up. After you've played that a total of 4 times, we then just change it slightly. Instead of going up to the 11th fret, what we're going to do is we're going to go up a string to the 4th fret of the low E string, with our third finger on the 6th fret of the A string and our pinky on the 6th fret of the D string. So we have this instead. Everything else stays the same. So we're going from the 8th fret of the A string down to the 4th fret of the A string, up to the 4th fret of the low E, up to the 6th fret of the A again. Okay, so do that with me. Now, after you've done that twice, we're into the verse where he starts singing, and it changes again. We start with the same. That's the first time through. The second time through, though, instead of going to this 6th fret of the A string, we're going to go to the 8th fret of the low E string. So your first finger is going to be on the 8th fret of the low E, your third finger on the 10th fret of your A string, and your pinky on the 10th fret of the D. So we'll have this. Then the third line is the same as the first. And then we're going to just the 8th fret of the low E string. Like that. So the entire verse chord progression will sound like this. And that continues until we get into the chorus. The chorus starts with the 1st fret of the low E string power chord, with our first finger on the 1st fret of the low E string, our third finger on the 3rd fret of the A string, and our pinky on the 3rd fret of the D string, okay? Down, 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 up, strumming pattern. Like that, down, 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 up, down, up. Then we're going up to the 4th fret of the A string power chord, to the 4th fret of the low E string, up to the 6th fret of the A. Again, that's the 1st fret of your low E string to the 4th fret of your A, 4th fret of your low E, 6th fret of your A. So second time through, it does the same thing, but instead of that last chord, we're going up to the 8th fret of your low E. So we have. You stay on that 8th fret for twice as long. So the entire chorus will sound like that. After that first chorus, we are back into the intro chord progression, which we play the chord progression twice. After that, we're into a second verse, which is the same as the first verse, and then a second chorus, which is the same as the first chorus. And then we're into like this breakdown, which is super cool. To do that, we start on the first fret of your low E string, just like we do in the chorus, and you just do 2 down strums. And then we kind of just have that like little strike up there in between chords. To the 4th fret of your low E string, to the 4th fret of the A. So we have this. Okay? And we only hit that 4th fret of the A string once. Go to the 6th fret of the low E string, which we strike upwards just once, to the 6th fret of the A, to the 3rd fret of the A, which we strike up. So there's like 4th fret of your A, 6th fret of your low E, 4th fret of your A, 3rd fret of your A. Okay, so do that with me. I'll do that slowly. Again. Now full speed. One more time. Now that's like part A of the breakdown. We have a part B. Part B, we start again on the 1st fret of your low E string, up to the 4th fret of your low E string. But here, instead of going to the 4th fret of the A, we go to the 6th fret of the A. And then from there, we go to the 8th fret of the low E string, which we strike up, to the 8th fret of the A string, which we strike down. So, and then right here, we just hit the 13th fret of the low E string, and we slide it down. So that part B will sound like this. I'll do that slowly. Do that with me now. Okay, so now putting part A and part B together. And that gets you into the solo. So now let's learn the solo. So to start the solo off, we're starting on the 6th fret of the B string with our index finger. And we play that down, down, up, like that, okay? So then we put our 3rd finger on the 8th fret of the B string, and then we hit the 9th fret with our pinky. Like that, in that rhythm. Okay, do that with me. Then right there, after you have your pinky down, we lift our 3rd finger up to the 8th fret of the G string. Then we hit the 6th fret of the G string with our index, and slide it down to the 4th. So you have this. Do that with me. Then right there, what we do is we hit our pinky finger on the 8th fret of the B string again. Then we bar across the 5th fret of our G and B strings with our index finger. Hit the B and then the G. So we have this so far. Okay, do that with me. Then right there, what we do is we hit our middle finger on the 6th fret of the B string and our pinky on the 8th fret of the high E. Like that. In contact. Do that with me now. Then right there, we have this like little up down, and that's like the first down is like the first down that we had before. So you have this like up down, down up, there. And then from there, we hit again the 8th fret of the B string up to the 9th fret of the B string. So you have this like. Do that with me. Then right here with our middle finger on the 6th fret of the B string, we have another up, down, and that up, down kind of is, that down there after the up is just like the beginning of this solo. So you have this up, down, down, up after that. Like that. Up, down, down, up. Then we go to the 8th fret of the B string, up to the 9th fret of the B string. Just like the beginning of the solo, you have the 6th, 8th, 9th of the B, the G string on the 8th, 6th, 5th. So you have this just like completely identical except for that extra up at the beginning of it to the first time through. So far it'll sound like this. Then right here we just have this walk up where we're starting on the 8th fret of the B string. Then we go up to the 13th fret, up to the 17th fret, hold it there for longer, and then we're up to the 18th. Okay, so the entire solo will sound like this. Do that with me. Now you're going to want to hover on that 18th fret there, and you're just going to want to keep giving it some vibrato for a long time. And you're going to keep vibratoing that until he says, "The representative from California, you have the floor." And we have this like kind of thing, which is just going to be from like somewhere around here, and we're just going to take our middle finger or something like that on the low E string and just like slide it down the entire string and turn our volume off. Okay? So you have this like, and then we're silent for the bridge until the end of the bridge where we hit the kind of thing. And what we're going to do for that is we're going to go to the 6th fret of the A string power chord, down to the 3rd fret of the A string, strum that upwards, up to the 8th fret, hit the 10th fret twice, and then we're back down to the 3rd fret. So we have this like, I'll do that slowly. And after that 3rd fret there, you hit it again. But the one other thing I wanted to mention is we have this like slide into that. Do that with me. After that, we have a chorus which plays twice. And then we're back into the intro. But on the the 4th time through, we're going right there. Now it changes, okay? So we go from this, the 8th fret to the 4th fret like normal. Then we're going to go from the 6th fret down to the 3rd fret, up to the 8th fret, to the 1st fret of the low E string, like that. So, okay, do that with me slowly. One more time. Okay, now in context, we're gonna go 3 times through that intro, and then the last time we'll do that. So. This time, and And that, my friends, is how you play Holiday. If you have a song request, comment it or DM me. If you wish to be notified of future videos, hit that bell. I sincerely hope that you are well. Please do me a favor and hit that like button in blue. I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe too. I hope this video has been a blessing. You've been watching Logan's Lessons.